Did you ever know that you're my hero? Is a song. And I didn't even have any context. It just came out of my mouth. But I don't perform anymore, but Robin does. But she still likes to help me pretend that I'm still a comedian, even though I'm not. Hear more about that bullshit on the latest episode of Scooch Ovaries! Scooch over.
Hey, can you scooch over?
You want me to scooch over?
Just a little bit. Scooch.
Scooch?
Scooch.
Scooch. Scooch Ovaries! Robin, I don't get up and stand in front of a room full of people with a microphone anymore, and yet still claim the phrase, I'm a comedian. I still claim the moniker. I still say I'm a comedian. Help me rationalize.
Because I think once you're a comedian, you're always a comedian. It's like being a Marine or something. You're never going to be an ex-comedian.
It's just like being a Marine. We call the other people civilians.
It is.
We have a uniform. It's black clothes.
It is.
And
my dad would be so disappointed if he heard me compare it to Marines. So,
well, he's never going to listen. So we
yeah. If you do, I apologize profusely, Dad. I just took something that you did and have a lot of pride and just bastardized it.
Well, you should have made it like the Coast Guard, something that's not as important as the Marines, because the Marines are kind of like the best ones, right?
Yeah. He's a tough guy, so.
Yeah. Marine, my God. So what war was your dad in?
He was not in any war, but
Lucky.
He was a part of the Cuban Missile Crisis. He was like en route, I think, to Cuba, and then and they were very ill prepared, and they were like, "Oh no!" And then it never happened. But
so was he on a ship?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So
wow.
And then did I ever tell you the story about my dad? He was really smart, and he had a officer tell him, you know what, you have no business being in the Marines. I'm going to make sure you get out of the Marines. You need to go to college. And he did all the paperwork. And my dad was able to get out of the Marines. And then his whole battalion went to Vietnam, and a lot didn't make it back.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I may not be standing here if it wasn't for his commanding officer who was like, I see potential in you.
And that's why it's so important to let people know when you see something in them. But also...
Well, then he had to do paperwork and stuff.
Yeah, there were forms.
There were lots of forms.
But my God, in that time, in that era, to do that, when you're looking for bodies, and to say, no, you're in the wrong place. You're better than this.
Yeah.
Basically saying the others weren't, which is sad. But it really does take a certain mindset. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have that mindset... It doesn't mean you're better or worse. You just have a different mindset.
Yeah, and he's a smart fella. So.
My God, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
I know. I wouldn't be sitting here. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Wow. And, it's because my parents met when my dad was stationed in San Diego, because the boot camp is there in San Diego.
Oh.
For the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. But I think it's the only Marine boot camp. Camp Pendleton. Oh. And my mother was just living in San Diego because she was just a goof. And she was born and raised in...
She was a goof.
She was a goof. And she was born and raised in San Bernardino. And then her and her friend moved to San Diego. And they went to the beach and they met a bunch of Marines. And one of them was my father. And here I am.
That's a good time.
That is.
So what year was that around? You think that they met?
Oh, gosh.
In the 60s?
Yeah, because my brother was born in 1966. So I would say it would be somewhere between 62 and 64.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That was a good time to be at the beach.
It was, yeah.
Beach blanket bingo time.
Yeah, and my father, I think he was raised in Virginia. And I know I get confused sometimes because in my mind, he was raised in Kentucky because we always went to Kentucky to see my grandparents, but I think he was actually raised in Virginia.
Oh,
and he didn't know anything about Mexican food, so he would always order tacos, which is
tacos.
Funny. Yeah, which is funny because my mom was born and raised on Mexican food. I mean, we're all why. It's just, that's how Southern California is. You just eat Mexican all the time. And so having a mother from Southern California, Mexican food like tacos, burritos, enchiladas, like that is just such a staple in my diet. It still is. And to know like my father called it tacos is just adorable.
That's adorable. I didn't realize that. I don't think I remember that your mom was actually born in California. I know that she was in California and from there. I don't know why I thought she may have been born somewhere else. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, no, it's so crazy because my mother was born in California. My father was born in Virginia. They raised me in Missouri.
Yeah.
And now here I'm this Missouri girl who's raising my children in Florida.
Yeah.
So if pattern recognition happens, my Florida children will raise their children in some place that's not Florida.
Someone asked me recently how you ended up in Florida, and I said, if I didn't have short-term memory loss, I could tell you. How did you end up in Florida?
My then boyfriend, now husband, was like, "Do you want to go to Florida?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay."
So you didn't meet him down here. You met him in Kansas City.
I met him in Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've rewritten that, apparently. I thought you guys... Isn't that funny how I can't remember shit? Yeah. That's funny.
No, we worked together in downtown Kansas City at a building called the Corrigan, and I was in my early 20s, he was in his mid 20s, and it was just sort of like, let's just go away.
Let's just try.
Let's just try. Yeah, that's a great time in your 20s, guys. You can just doesn't work out, you can just go back.
You can, and you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to make changes because you can change again if the change doesn't work.
Yeah.
And if you don't, eventually change will come to you because it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It will come, whether you want it to or not.
It'll be knocking on your door with a big skull.
And
I was just trying
like a knocker? No.
I was thinking.
Sif?
Yeah, a Sif. I was thinking of the Grim Reaper.
Oh, great. Well, Mary, don't fear the Reaper.
Come on, baby, don't fear the Reaper.
Don't fear the Reaper. He's got like a he carries?
It's like a big machete on a stick. I feel like it's a Sith, but I feel like that's also a Star Wars name.
I thought
like
that
Revenge
was
of
also
the Sith.
No. What's the sitar?
A sitar.
The sitar.
Look, we'll get there, or we won't. That's great. I didn't realize. Yeah. But here's the thing that I always enjoy. You renamed burritos for your kids.
Yeah, when they were little, they couldn't say burritos, so they called them bobbies. And to this day, I still call them bobbies. And it's pretty stupid, but it's what I do.
It's not stupid. I have a can of refried beans that I bought and I keep because one day you're going to want to make bobbies and I'm going to have to just say, go ahead and be okay with it because that's what they're called. And I've had them. I had them at your house back in the old days.
Yeah.
With your little kids when they were little. And now they're all grown adults.
Now they're all grown adults. I still make bobbies all the time.
Oh.
You know what cracks me up? And we were just talking about, I was a part of a storytelling festival a couple of years ago. And one of the storytellers, his whole story was he was like fully in his 30s before he realized it wasn't grilled cheese, it was grilled cheese. You remember that?
Yes, I do. That was nuts.
And we had this conference call beforehand because the producer very smartly was like, I don't want you guys to say like, and it's people in comedy do this all the time, say like you have a story or you've got like 30 minutes of solid material and you get there and people have paid and you just have butt kiss. So she was like, you don't have to tell your story, but just kind of give me a rundown. And so I remember I was just laughing so hard. And I was like, that is phenomenal. And he was like, no, he goes, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I go, you don't understand how many things I've said to my children because I talk like an idiot. And I find it to be charming. And I'm like, I need to sit down and tell them. So like after that, I was like, I don't want you guys to get mad at me, but they're not called hanger racks. They're called clothes hangers. They're not called bobbies. They're called bean burritos. And I like had to go through a list in my mind. And this was like, they were full on like older teens.
Yeah.
And be like, I mean, if there's anything else that you guys run across, come to me because it's probably just a ridiculous word that I've said throughout the years.
And you've been doing that since I've met you, and I always giggle and I think, oh, she thinks that skit-scat's like a real thing. I got a skit-scat. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I know because I speak Robin, but not everybody has the dialect. They don't have the information. That does happen in families. My parents always called farts bops. So the first time I heard fart, I'm like, that's a horrible word. Do you mean bop? And they look at you like, what? I'm like, Oh, that's not like
That's just a thing that we say.
And families make up words, but it's rough when the kids go out in society and they gotta talk to other people and they look like they just landed from Mars.
Yeah,
You don't want that.
Because that's what he was saying. He was saying like he was a full adult, and his friend was just like, "Hey, bro, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, not much, just standing in, playing some videos, made some grilled cheese." And his friend was like, "Did you just say grilled cheese?" He's like, "Yeah, I have grilled cheese sandwiches." And he's like, "Dumb, it's grilled cheese."
It's such a good bit. It is. I remember that. I remember sitting there thinking, "Oh my god!" And he milked it.
Yeah.
And you can because it's hysterical.
Yeah, he took that email, but which is the art of storytelling. But
Yes.
I was always thinking like, I mean, did you never go into a diner? It's not like grilled cheese is exclusively at the house.
Well, don't you read outside your house? Like it's gonna come up.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm trying to think of a food that.
Go ahead. I'm with you. I can help you.
Like a food that you only kind of have at house. Like, I don't know that you could go somewhere, you probably can, and get goulash. And grilled.
Oh, goulash is one of those words.
Yeah. Like you go.
It's not
you only
the
have
same
it at
in
the
any house.
Yeah.
But it's different in every house.
And
it's not goulash.
yeah.
It's like mock chili.
Yeah.
Which is what my mother called it. And I'm like, this isn't even mock chili. This is like mock spaghetti and meatballs with meat sauce. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to say, like, I mean, if you go to, like a fast food restaurant, they're just going to have hamburgers, hot dogs. But if you go to a diner or you go to, I don't know, I mean, even my very first job was in a bowling alley, and we had grilled cheese sandwiches. And either on the marquee or, if you actually had like a folding menu, you would see it. But I don't know. I never ordered it.
I worry about what he was not reading. Like menus or signs on the road or watching TV. It's going to come up.
Well, and then like the sandwich is in the name. It's grilled cheese. I mean,
where's the girl?
Yeah, I mean, it's like cheese, bread, and then cooking it, and it's really. I mean, even hamburgers don't have ham in them. I mean, but grilled cheese.
That annoyed me when I really thought about it.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it said to be. So, but anyway, shout out to you, Vinny. I kind of had like a moment where I really had to get real with my kids and think, am I going to embarrass them sometime in the future because I've just called things other things?
Oh, you've embarrassed them dozens of times. The shit that comes out of your mouth, and you're not saying it in a kidding way. You're saying it totally serious with your Midwestern demeanor. I'm going to skit-scat. I'm like, oh my God, she's not even cracking a smile.
Nope, you need to meet my friend Tina these days.
What does Tina say again?
All of it.
Oh.
All of it.
This is where it comes from.
Yep, this is where it
She's
comes
the
from.
dialect coach.
She is. In fact, my daughter says if I get around her, not only do I start talking like her, my accent comes back out. So it's,
oh my God, what's your accent? I want to hear it.
I don't know. I will next time I'm back in Missouri and I'm hanging out with my high school friends. I will give you a call.
Would you please?
Yeah,
because I don't know that you have ever had an accent.
I will not be sober, just to let you know.
Well, that's fine. What are you gonna do? That'll be my first experience talking to someone who's not sober. I haven't experienced that in my lifetime yet. Oh my fucking God. You really, what, is it like a drawl? Is it Southern?
I don't know. I never heard it. I think, I say I don't know.
heard it.
I was going to say, I never heard it when I lived there, but then sometimes when I go back home, I'll be like, oh, they're talking, they have a twang.
I wonder if you're going to do like full Missouri, whatever that, I was going to say, Minnesota, because that's my favorite one.
Oh, no.
It's not like that.
No, it's more of a twang. Like, or sometimes, because I've got a group chat with all my high school friends, and sometimes they'll send me a video, and I'm like, oh, wow. I don't hear it when I'm around them, but like when they send me, like Tina had some crazy, like her dog got under the car and wouldn't get out of the car. She's like, get out. Get out! Get out! God damn it! And I was like, do you really talk like that? I don't know. Those are the words.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was something similar to that.
I was talking to somebody on the phone this week, and my New York went full, and I was like, oh my God, I can't even pull it back. And it almost sounded like Joe Pesci. I'm like, it's weird when it comes out, because it comes out with like a cape on, or really more like a fedora and a cigar.
Where the fuck you get off talking to people about me behind my back going over my head?
My
You're
accent.
from Jersey? I'm from Jersey.
Oh, it's like it just gets not as high pitched as a Joe Pesci, but also just not.
I was doing Joe Piscopo. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, that's funny. Joe Piscopo versus Joe Pesci.
Do you remember that we used to do that?
Frank
on Saturday
Sinatra
Night?
he used to do.
Yeah.
Oh, he did the Jersey thing.
Yeah,
he
he'd
was
be
the
like,
Jersey.
Are
What
you
exit?
from Jersey?
I'm from Jersey. Are you from Jersey? I'm from Jersey.
I'm from Jersey.
Which exit?
I don't know. That was his
No,
whole
that
thing.
was his joke. Which
Oh, okay.
exit?
Which
'Cause
exit?
Jersey Turnpike.
Oh, okay.
Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo
Is
and
he
his
dead?
muscles.
I feel like he's dead.
I think he's someone that we think's dead, but he's not. He's like a Frankie Valley.
Frankie Valens.
Frankie
Frankie Avalon.
Frankie Avalon.
So many.
There's so many Frankies.
Abe Vigoda any day now. He's super dead.
Yeah.
I find out people are dead on award shows when they do the in memoriam.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I really find out.
And then there's sometimes that they don't put the famous dead people, and they're like, how?
The next day, it's like, how did they not have the man who edited the TV show? I can't even think of an old timey. The Andy Griffin Show, season 3, episode 2. He edited it. Why didn't they have his name? Oh my God, Livingston Hughes. You didn't make it. I think that's a real name. I shouldn't say that.
There's Langston Hughes. He was like a famous poet
better.
of the.
That's a lyric in Rent. We're a little more scattered than normal, Robin.
We really are.
I did enjoy Old Home Week, though, visiting about your dad. That was fun. I like those stories.
Oh yeah. I got a million of them. Yeah, that was kind of the that was one of my favorite stories that I kind of tell about. You know, you almost weren't here, kid.
You're too good for the Marines.
You're too good.
You don't belong here.
You don't belong here.
Like Harry and the Hendersons. Get out of here. We don't want you.
Yeah.
That's not what happened, but good for him. It's nice when someone spots your potential and helps you move forward. It doesn't happen enough. So just as a reminder, Scooch Ovaries a reminder, if you see somebody doing good, let them know. And if you think they could do better, let them know. Go
If
ahead.
you see something, say something.
Mine was kind of a nice, encouraging thing, and Robin made it about terrorism, but whatever. Hey, guys. Hey, gals.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. I don't know if you're all aware, but I'm sitting next to a published author.
What?
A couple years back.
11. It's been way too
That was a
long.
good callback. Robin wrote a book, and it is called Stand Up and Be a Lady.
I stood up and I was a lady.
She was, with quotes. So you can, around it, you can go on Amazon and you can get a copy. You can also call Robin. Her number's everywhere. And
555.
and she'll send you one. She's going to make you pay, though. You're going to have to pay for it. But, support your local artists. And one of them is Robin Savage, and she wrote a book. And I just want to encourage you guys. And there's a fascinating foreword that was written by me.
What? That's fun.
I did write it.
She wrote the foreword.
And I've told that story already, I think, several times on this podcast, so I won't tell it again. But it's about how Robin respected me enough to want to learn how to pronounce my last name when she hosted a open mic that I was at when I met her. First time I met her. She's like, how do you say it? And it was in a nice way, not in a, how do you say that? It was like no, I want to say it right. How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone should. There's a lot in a name. I've often gotten arguments with people who insist on. I mean, it's one thing if you give someone like a silly nickname, but it's another thing if you just fully don't pronounce their name after you've been corrected. It's there's a lot in a name, and you should respect someone's name.
I think so. Do you meet a lot of people with your name, and does that throw you off?
I don't like meeting other Robins.
Oh, really?
I really don't like meeting other Robins.
What happens?
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Like I just don't like it.
I went to high school with so many Robins.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I went to high school with only one other Robin.
Oh, well, there were like 1,000 Marys.
Well, I was going to say, you're probably used to it because you have to be like Mary T. And there's probably, I named my daughter Katie, and there's more Katies probably than there are Marys.
Nowadays. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There were a lot of Mary. I was Mary T.
Yeah,
because there
Mary
were so
T.
many Marys. And one of the jokes I enjoy very much in any show by Tina Fey in the last 20 years is she'll say things like, I can't even think of like one of their funny names, like Dylan, or like she'll say Dylan J or Sanjay W. Like it's like kid names that you see that seem unique, but they're not now.
Yeah.
A lot of people naming their kids after last names now, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
It's wacky, but
Yeah.
I was Mary T, and I didn't mind it. What's funny now is currently my boss, who's like the big boss at my theater, her name is Mary. So I will walk by and go, "Hey, Mary, staying out of trouble?" Totally, like, ignoring 3 levels of leadership that I should go through to even talk to her about. "Hey, Mary, staying out of trouble?" And she's like, "Ha." She looks uncomfortable, but she gets it now. It's almost 2 years. She's like, I see who that is. And I call myself Lesser Mayor sometimes at work, or the other mayor. Not the important. I do say Lesser Mayor. I do. Or not the important mayor. There's the other, I'm Mary, but I'm not the Mary. Like, because I've gotten emails like, "Mary, thank you so much for your help. We've really worked out the situation." I'm like, so that's not for me. I had nothing to do with any of that. And it's just to me and like one other person. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, that's...
You're getting your Marys mixed up.
Someone tell him, yeah, not me. Scooch over.
Hey, can you scooch over?
You want me to scooch over?
Just a little bit. Scooch.
Scooch?
Scooch.
Scooch. Scooch Ovaries.